Hello again, welcome back. This is Axel at Cards, Tickets, Tunes, bringing you my last week of ticket sales on eBay. Again, these are ticket stubs. These are used tickets to events of all sorts: baseball, basketball, hockey, football, college, concerts, whatever, oddball stuff. If there's a stub and there's a historical record of it, then people collect it because they threw it away. And when people throw stuff away, that makes it more collectible. Again, I am purchasing tickets. If you want to contact me at cards.tickets.tunes@gmail.com. You can visit my store at cards_tickets_tunes. That's my username, my seller name. So check me out if you want to see what I have for sale. Also have records, as you can see in the background here, for sale, and cards, sports cards of all sorts. All right, let's start off with some Reds tickets. I sold 4 Reds tickets in the last week for some reason, all to different people. This first one, I'm going to do them chronologically. So this is a 1972 Reds ticket. There was a Johnny Bench home run in this game and a Pete Rose hit. So anytime there's a Pete Rose hit, people collect those since he is the career leader. That ticket for that game at Riverfront Stadium sold for about $15. So pretty cool ticket, great design. And again, those are the format stayed the same for a long time. So people really like that when they're collecting things. Here's a 1975 ticket from the big Red Machine season. This was win, I think, 6 on the season. So sometimes people like to try to collect every win from a team that won the World Series. You can see there's a stain there, which, kind of adds to the authenticity of the ticket in my mind. That one sold for same thing, 10 to $15. Here's another ticket from 1975. I don't think this was a win, so this one went for a little less. I think there was maybe a Tony Perez home run in this ticket. And I also put Joe Morgan in the title because he was the National League MVP. So sometimes people try to collect tickets from an MVP season. We mentioned previously a rookie season, things like that. Maybe a home run leader season. They had the MLB record, or not record, but like they were a season leader in the National League for home runs, and someone will collect all of those home run tickets for that particular season. This is the most expensive Reds ticket that I sold. It's a 1978 Reds ticket, and it is more expensive, sold for $35 because it's one of the games that Pete Rose got a hit in during his 44-game hit streak. So I think, I forget the number of the game, but people want to get every ticket from that hit streak. Still stands as the National League consecutive game hit streak record. Of course, American League record is held by the great Joe DiMaggio. So there we go, 1978. If you find a ticket from that series of games, it can be pretty valuable. So that one, I think I mentioned, was $35. Here's 2 Reds Braves tickets. Here is a ticket from 1988. Is a Fernando Valenzuela 1500th strikeout game. People like round numbers, so the 1000th strikeout, the 1500th strikeout, they're considered what we call milestone tickets. So this one sold for $30. Really cool Braves ticket design there with the Brave there, and the back has the battle axe and all kinds of cool stuff on the back. All right, here's another Braves ticket. Again, these sold for some reason in the same week to different people. This one is a ticket from a game that went 16 innings. Braves didn't actually win it. The Padres won it. And Dale Murphy had a home run. Tony Gwynn had a couple hits. Of course, he had 3,000 hits. Anyone who has 3,000 hits, you're going to have someone who wants to collect every hit from those 3,000. So that one went for $30. Here's another baseball ticket. I'm going to do all baseball here, and I'm going to save the highest selling ones for the end as a kind of coup de grace. Here is a Orioles ticket from 1983. It's the first playoff game that Cal Ripken ever played in, so it's considered a playoff debut. That's a key word in the ticket collecting hobby, debut. Anytime you can legitimately put that in the title, it's going to increase looks and increase sales. This one sold for $20. Nothing special in that game. Of course, the Orioles went on to win the World Series, so any ticket from a World Series season is worth markedly more as well. So that's a really cool ticket. It's not a full, because you can see it's torn at the top here, but it still does have a part of the stub there at the bottom. So sometimes you'll only see this stub, sometimes you'll only see that part, but that's a pretty cool ticket. Here's another postseason ticket. This is from the 1981 World Series, which was won by the Dodgers. This was game 1 of that series, and the Yankees won the first 2 games. Pretty excited, thought they were going to win another World Series like they did in 77 and 78, but alas, the Dodgers came back and swept the last 4 and won the series in 1981 in the strike-shortened season. So this was, I put Dave Winfield World Series debut. So not a whole lot of Dave Winfield collectors out there. Of course, he's a Hall of Famer, had 3,000 hits, one of the greatest players of all time, but was kind of known as Mr. September instead of Reggie Jackson, who was Mr. October. So he tended to fold in the postseason. But still, pretty cool ticket. It has a crease down the middle, which you can maybe see, which does detract from the value somewhat. Just depends on the collector. Here is a cool ticket. Explain something about this. This is what's called a phantom ticket. It's to a game that actually never happened. It's between the Cleveland Indians and whoever the National League representative from was for the World Series in 1996. Of course, that series was played between the Braves and the Yankees. Indians didn't make it in, but ticket season holders will generally receive like a booklet of tickets, and a lot of times those booklets will have postseason tickets that they can use, where the date of which is to be determined later. So those aren't generally valuable, but they make cool display items. This one sold for $3. So kind of cool collectible. All right, let's switch to football. Here is a 1968 ticket. Actually a 69 ticket. It's during Joe Green's rookie season, so it's considered a rookie ticket. It doesn't say 1969, so you have to do a little research on Football Reference to determine. You can see it's the game 4, and it's between Packers and Steelers, so you can kind of use process of elimination to find stuff out. You can do completed items, sold items, and find tickets of similar design and kind of decipher what the year is. You have to be careful because sometimes game 1, 2, and 3 are the first 3 home games during the preseason. There were more preseason games and exhibition games in the 60s and 70s before they changed it to just 4 preseason games. So there can be as many as 7 exhibition games before the season actually starts. So a game 4 may or may not be the 4th game of the actual regular season. I forget which is the case here, but I sold this one for $35. And it also had Bart Starr in it and threw a touchdown. So people like to collect every Bart Starr's touchdown ticket that they can. Cool ticket. Here's another Steelers ticket. I think this was 1981. This was a Lynn Swann 50th touchdown ticket. He actually had 51 touchdowns in his career, so it's not his last touchdown. Could be more valuable if it's last, but it's also a nice round number, number 50. Also, Terry Bradshaw's 175th touchdown pass. So sometimes a pass between a famous quarterback and a famous receiver can be more valuable as well. So that Swann Bradshaw connection was pretty key in the 70s. Of course, they won 4 Super Bowls together. So that ticket sold for $19. $19. On the back, it has a cool Steelers logo. A little bit of a stain, not too big of a deal. Here is a college football ticket. This one's from 1959. This is an Army ticket. Army tickets are pretty collectible. Of course, Army was a lot better in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. Nowadays, the Army-Navy game is fun to watch, but it doesn't usually have significance regarding the final rankings in the polls and things. But this was a game played at Michie Stadium between Army and Colorado State. Really cool design. A full ticket. You can see these stubs haven't been torn off. And on the back, it has a picture of the stadium and where you would find your seat. Really cool historical artifact. So that one sold for $15. All right, I saved my last 3, especially because they were the biggest sales for the week. We'll start with these 2 hockey tickets. This was a game played between the Edmonton Oilers and the New York Rangers. Of course, it had, this was when Gretzky was on the Oilers, so he played in that game. And it's also happens to be Brian Leetch's first goal. And he is a Hall of Fame hockey player for the New York Rangers. So that one sold for $40. And then I have this one also from the same game featuring the more recognizable MSG design. Of course, the Knicks played at MSG as well. And So you have Knicks and you have Rangers games played there. So you have to figure out, sometimes it'll just say like K4 to represent Knicks, fourth game of the Knicks season, or it'll say R4 to represent the fourth game of the Rangers season. But this one actually has the opponents and the date on it. So that one sold for a little bit more. That one went for 60. So this one, which is a little different design, same game. This one went for 60, and then this one went for 40. So those are pretty cool. I have a couple extra of these too, if you want to contact me and you'd be interested in purchasing one. So that's $100 for those two tickets. All right, here is another combined sale. These are two Celtics tickets. Combined total $150. They went for $750 each. Let's start with the oldest one first. This is 1983 ticket. And I marketed this one as Dennis Johnson's first game at the Garden as a Celtic. So it's his first game wearing a Celtic uniform, playing at the Garden as a member of the Boston Celtics. And it is from the championship season, 83-84. They won the NBA championship that year. He came over from the Supersonics. And I don't know if it was a trade or a free agent, but obviously he was one of the great contributors to their dynasty. So that sold for $75. Small little ticket, and it has a advertisement on the back for Bud Light. And then here's another ticket as well, a little later, 1989. Larry Bird passed the Dr.J, Julius Erving, for career point total. So in this game, it's considered a milestone game once you kind of move above another great scorer and then surpass their record. So people collect that kind of thing as well. If you can track that down on Basketball Reference or by examining old newspaper articles from newspaper.com, that's a subscription service. I'd recommend paying that subscription, well worth it as you research tickets. One point that I didn't realize till I'd done it a while, don't type in the date of the actual game when you're trying to find the article. Type in the date of the day after the game, because you might think it's obvious, but it wasn't to me at first. The news article will be on the day after the game, not the day of the game. So that's how I found out about that ticket. That one sold for $75. So $150 for the two of them. Pretty good for tiny little pieces of cardboard that people threw away and didn't think were worth anything. Lastly, this is the most expensive ticket that I sold in the last week. It is a Pittsburgh Panthers ticket. This, I'll give you a second to guess who this might be. Who may have played on the Pittsburgh Panthers in 1979? Do 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 do. All right, time's up. It was Dan Marino, Dan Marino's freshman year, which is kind of like a rookie season ticket. And it's even better than that because it's his first start and I think win. So first starts are valuable, first wins are valuable, debuts are the most valuable. So I think I saw a completed sold item for this ticket, or maybe someone was trying to sell one for around the $400 or $500 range, which sounds about right. His pro debut in the NFL would be worth, several thousand, most likely, depending upon how many there are available at the time and what the most recent sales are. But 1,000 to 2,000, and also depending upon the grade. This is almost a complete ticket, has a slight tear there, as you can see, but still very cool, has student stamped on it, which for some people, they like that. Some people kind of detracts from the aesthetic of the actual ticket. So that sold for $100. Again, these are all tickets within the last week that I have personally sold on eBay, which I think is a little unique. You'll see a lot of people advertise tickets, selling tickets, kind of taking a victory lap for a ticket that they found real cheap, but these are actual ticket sales. So let's see, in the last week, that's 150, 250, 350, 385, 400, 420, 480, 500, 520, 550. So that's like $575 of ticket sales in the last week. So again, this is something that if you get good at, you can make some money at. And if you just enjoy collecting, it's super rewarding to find a ticket in a stack that you buy and to do the research and to find out that, lo and behold, some wonderful, amazing event happened in the career, or something infamous or more than famous happened during the game as well. We'll talk about some of those tickets as well. All right, appreciate you paying attention. If you don't mind, like, share, subscribe. Had about 25 people take a look at this video last week, which I was encouraged by. Hopefully we'll get more than that this time and spread the word about this really cool new hobby that's emerging. All right, again, this is Axel at Cards, Tickets, Tunes. Feel free to send me a message or visit my store on eBay, cards_tickets_tunes. We'll see you next week.